And then last week I got a call from a really big American artist saying, this person's around next year. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible.
Oh.
Thank God we held the slot.
Can you actually go to a gig without people, as Annie said, like, are you allowed to go to a gig without people thinking, well, they must be going to Glastonbury?
I don't know what it was about that gig. The thing is, I think I was so blown away by it, but also everybody knows that I've always wanted Madonna to play Glastonbury. It's not a big news story.
Yeah, it's not
I've
a
always been
shocker,
quite
is it?
open about it. It's not like, God, we'd never thought of that. What a...
I have a question, Emily. So let's say you deal with the biggest artists in the world, like the ones with the biggest teams, the most amount of layers between them and anyone else in terms of people. How do you go about booking a Beyonce or an Elton John? Like, what's the first step?
It always starts, way before the time that people think it does. Like, I've been talking to people about a headline slots for next year for about 2 years. And those are kind of still very much up in the air. So it takes a long time. But with Elton, I wrote him a letter and he called. And that was like a conversation, and it was really amazing because I did not expect him to call me. And we had a kind of very open conversation about it, and he was really up for it. And it was a total pleasure, like dealing with him and his team. They were just really on board, and they really kind of got it. And sometimes you have to explain it a bit more to people, you know, obviously if people haven't been, but Elton hadn't been before, but he knew about it.
And you just said there that the headliners for next year are nowhere near sorted. Do you mean next year, 2024 or 2025?
2024 is still a little up in the air.
How exciting.
I know. And I thought we was kind of taking shape. And then last week I just got a call, and this is what happens if you wait a little longer, because quite often we'll be booked up, from July.
Yeah.
But this year we're kind of holding out for a little bit longer. And then last week I got a call from a really big American artist saying, this person's around next year. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible.
Oh.
Thank God we held the slot.
And do they just drop it in? Like, hey, just to let you know, such body's got an out to do on Saturday in June.
Well, normally it'll be an assistant who calls and goes, I've got so-and-so for you. And then they'll put you through to the next assistant. And then the next assistant goes, I've got so-and-so for you. And then you go through to the third assistant. And then they go, and then they pass on the agent or the manager or whatever. And then they'll say, hi, I've got such and such around next summer. Are you interested? And it's like, yeah.
Oh my God. That's so
And who is that person?
Yeah. And who is that person? Is it A, Taylor Swift? Is it B, Madonna? Is it? We could just guess all day.
We have nailed our legend slot, but I can't tell you who.
amazing.
I'm sorry, I can't tell you who it is. It's too
God.
early.
When
But
can
it
you
is-
tell us? Like, what, is there a hard rule in the Glastonbury office of when you do reveal the lineup?
Well, there's normally reasons for contractually from bands, and whether people have to announce other things first sometimes, and because we like to go on sale without announcing any acts, just because you don't get like one fan base suddenly really interested in coming. So we get the ticket sale out of the way, which is next month.
Yeah.
Early November. And then from there, so at the moment, we're kind of keeping it a little bit close to our chest. Sometimes we'll do something before Christmas. But what I'm really hoping for is to just announce the full lineup at the beginning of the year.
I've got a theory of who I think it is this year, Annie.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say.
Go on, say.
I won't say anything.
Okay, don't react, Emily. But my theory is, I think it might be Cher. Because there's a Cher Christmas album.
Yeah.
And I think that if there's ever a festival to do something as insane as Cher singing Christmas songs on a Sunday afternoon in June, it's Glastonbury, and no one would blink an eyelid. Everyone would be like, well, yeah, that's brilliant, obviously. So that's my thought, Annie. What do you think?
I mean, I love that. I think that that's your also ultimate dream. I think you're just going to try and talk about it enough so that you manifest it into existence.
Yeah. I mean, my dream would be just Cher and Madonna on Sunday and no one else. They take 12 hours each.
That would be brilliant.
Emily, when the tickets go on sale, I cannot imagine what it must be like when tickets go on sale in terms of the amount of messages you get from people who've missed out or who haven't done it, or, just the panic that you must get from the public trying to get the tickets. How do you manage that? What do you do when the tickets are on sale? Do you take to your bed? What happens?
Last year I did lots of pacing around the office, but it's very, I'm so relieved when it's over and
bet.
it's gone without issues. It's really hard with that volume of people. And one of the main issues is that each household has about 7 devices on the case.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of really, really intense, the amount of people trying and the amount of devices trying. But if everybody has 1 device per household, it just makes it much smoother.
Hear that, listeners?
That's good.
Everyone,
One device
condense it
per
down
household.
to 1 device, 1 iPad, 1 laptop, and then stop all the others. You might have a better chance.
Because I
Yeah,
remember
I think so.
when I was at uni, me and my friends like desperate to get tickets, and like going to the library and being in a row of the university, being like, right, are we ready? 5 minutes to go, and like I remember that excitement of everyone panicking, and people were sort of picked off, like yes, no, yes, and like that build up, and it is such an exciting and terrifying and potentially heartbreaking process trying to get tickets for Glastonbury.
The heartbreaking element and the stories that you get.
I know.
Oh God, if only we could just kind of keep rolling it over, but it's just not possible. We can't do a Coachella where you can just do one the next weekend. We all talked about that on the Wednesday after this festival, saying we'd just be opening the gates now.
Oh, no.
If you were Coachella, but it's just, there's no way, so it is unfortunate that we can't fit everyone in, but it's amazing for those that get tickets.